Doha Pulse News: the Middle East was jolted overnight by a strike that few thought possible. Israel confirmed it had targeted senior Hamas leaders not in Gaza or Lebanon, but in Doha, Qatar, a country long considered a neutral ground for negotiations. The attack has not only shaken the Qatari capital but also raised urgent questions about international law, diplomacy, and the future of ceasefire talks. With black smoke rising over Doha and diplomatic channels scrambling, the region now faces one of its most unpredictable moments in recent history. In a bold and unprecedented move, Israel carried out a precision airstrike in Doha targeting senior Hamas leaders, including the group's chief negotiator. The attack rocked the Gulf capital, marking a sharp escalation in an already volatile conflict, and sending seismic ripples through diplomatic corridors. What happened? Multiple explosions were heard in Doha's Qatar and Legtafaya districts, with black smoke billowing over residential compounds. Witnesses described scenes of chaos, emergency responders scrambling, and heightened security presence. Israel's military, IDF, and security agency, Shin Bet, confirmed responsibility, calling it a precise strike targeting the senior leadership of Hamas. Among those reportedly targeted were Khalil al-Hayya, Hamas's chief negotiator, and Zaher Jabarin, who oversees West Bank operations. Hamas sources claim no fatalities yet, but the situation remains unclear. Regional fallout and legal alarm. Qatar, which has hosted and mediated ceasefire talks, unleashed harsh condemnation. It branded the attack as a cowardly criminal assault and a blatant violation of international law. Doha affirmed it would not tolerate such breaches of its sovereignty. This move threatens to unravel fragile ceasefire negotiations, mediated by Qatar, Egypt, and the US, at a moment when both sides were discussing a US-backed proposal. Experts break it down.
Erik Skær, a Norwegian expert on Hamas, put it plainly. This kind of strike may very well end any hope for a ceasefire.
It also puts Qatar's role as a mediator in peril, and exposes diplomatic risk when negotiations intersect with military action. Marina Adrianopoli, WHO Nutrition lead, warns the humanitarian stakes are staggering.
Gaza is in the grips of famine, with children bearing lifelong scars from malnutrition and trauma, making any extension of violence catastrophic.
Why it matters: uncharted territory. This is the first known Israeli strike inside Qatar, a US ally with the region's largest American airbase. The precedent alone shifts geopolitical dynamics. Diplomacy disrupted. Hamas officials were in Doha for ceasefire negotiations. Striking them there amplifies distrust and could paralyze dialogue. Widening conflict. Israel's operations have extended beyond Gaza, into Lebanon, Iran, aligned Yemen, Syria, and now Qatar. Regional tensions are mounting fast. Human cost escalates. As Israel intensifies ground operations in Gaza, prompting mass evacuation orders, humanitarian aid remains scarce. Hundreds of thousands are on the brink of famine. Where we go from here? Future concern. What to watch for diplomatic fallout? Will Qatar scale back its mediation or expel Hamas? Global reactions. Intensified calls for accountability or sanctions. Security escalation. Retaliatory actions from Hamas or allied groups. Civilian toll. Increased loss of life and long-term humanitarian damage. Why this story matters now. By striking in Doha, Israel has dangerously blurred the lines between military action and diplomatic safe zones. The repercussions on negotiations, regional stability, flashpoints across the wider Middle East are massive. And amid the crisis in Gaza, every escalation costs innocent lives. What this latest strike makes clear is that the war is no longer confined to Gaza. By extending military action into Qatar, Israel has redrawn the boundaries of the conflict and tested the limits of regional diplomacy. For ordinary Palestinians already trapped in famine and displacement, the costs are unbearable. For Qatar, the strike is both a direct affront and a dangerous precedent. And for the international community, the challenge is stark: either step in to restore dialogue or watch the region slide deeper into a cycle of escalation with no clear exit.